Imagine this. The most powerful man in the world stands before you. Alexander the Great, conqueror of nations, commander of armies. He offers you anything you want: wealth, power, a position in his empire. And you look him dead in the eye and say, what? Most people would beg, most people would bow. But this philosopher, he insulted Alexander to his face. And Alexander let him live. In fact, Alexander said if he wasn't Alexander, he would want to be this man. Who was he? And how did he get away with insulting everyone, from kings to philosophers to random people on the street, without getting killed? His name was Diogenes, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why his insults weren't just savage, they were revolutionary. Before Diogenes became the most feared tongue in ancient Greece, he was nobody. Actually, worse than nobody. He was exiled from his hometown of Sinope for defacing currency, literally a criminal. Most people would hide in shame. Diogenes, he moved to Athens and decided to deface something much more valuable: society's fake values. He rejected money, rejected status, rejected comfort. He lived in a ceramic jar in the marketplace. He owned nothing but a cloak and a wooden bowl. And from that jar, he launched verbal attacks that would make modern roast comedians look soft. But here's what makes Diogenes different from just some angry homeless guy. Every insult had a philosophical point. Every confrontation was a lesson. He wasn't being savage for entertainment. He was using savagery as a scalpel to cut through society's lies. Let me show you exactly what I mean. 6 savage encounters that changed philosophy. Story number 1, the Plato incident. Plato was the most respected philosopher in Athens, student of Socrates, founder of the academy, untouchable. He defined humans as featherless bipeds, 2-legged creatures without feathers. Everyone nodded along. Brilliant, they said. Classic Plato. Diogenes heard this and walked into the marketplace the next day holding a plucked chicken. He threw it at Plato's students and shouted, "Behold, Plato's human!" The entire marketplace erupted in laughter. Plato was humiliated. His definition was destroyed in 5 seconds. But notice what Diogenes actually did. He didn't just mock Plato. He exposed how philosophers hide behind abstract definitions instead of dealing with reality. A plucked chicken fits Plato's definition perfectly, which means the definition is useless. Lesson 1, don't confuse clever words with actual wisdom. But Diogenes wasn't done with Plato. Story number 2, the carpet confrontation. Plato invited Diogenes to his house. Big mistake. Plato's home was filled with expensive carpets, gold decorations, luxury everywhere. Plato was showing off his wealth while teaching about virtue and simplicity. Diogenes walked in, looked around, and started stomping on Plato's most expensive carpet with his dirty feet. Plato shouted, "Stop! You're trampling on my pride!" And Diogenes replied, "Yes, I trample upon the pride of Plato, but with greater pride." Savage? Absolutely. But look deeper. Diogenes is exposing Plato's hypocrisy. You can't teach people to reject materialism while living in luxury. You can't preach simplicity while surrounding yourself with status symbols. Plato claimed to be above pride. Diogenes proved he was drowning in it. Lesson 2, your actions reveal your real philosophy, not your words. Now let's talk about how Diogenes handled actual royalty. Story number 3, the moment we opened with, Alexander the Great. Alexander had heard about this crazy philosopher living in a jar, so he traveled to Corinth to meet him. When Alexander arrived with his entire army, Diogenes was lying in the sun outside his jar. Alexander stood over him, casting a shadow, and said, "I am Alexander the Great. Ask me for anything, and it shall be yours." Diogenes looked up and said, "Yes, stand aside. You're blocking my sunlight." The soldiers gasped. Nobody talks to Alexander like this. But Alexander, he smiled and said, "If I were not Alexander, I would wish to be Diogenes." Why? Because Alexander recognized something profound. Diogenes had what Alexander could never have: true freedom. Alexander conquered the world, but was enslaved by ambition. Diogenes owned nothing, but was enslaved by nothing. Lesson 3, real power is not controlling others. It's controlling yourself. But wait, it gets better. Story number 4, the spy accusation. King Philip II of Macedonia, Alexander's father, sent soldiers to arrest Diogenes. They accused him of being a spy. They dragged him before the king. Philip demanded, "Are you a spy?" Diogenes replied, "Yes, I am a spy. I spy on your insatiable greed. I spy on your stupidity that makes you gamble your entire kingdom on the battlefield. I spy on your absence of wisdom." The court went silent. This was a death sentence. But Philip, he laughed. He let Diogenes go. Why? Because Diogenes spoke a truth that Philip's advisors were too afraid to say. Sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do is tell a powerful person the truth. And sometimes that's exactly what they need to hear. Lesson 4, truth is more valuable than safety. Now, here's where Diogenes gets truly savage. Story number 5, the marketplace roast. Diogenes would walk through the marketplace with a lit lantern in bright daylight. People would ask him, "What are you doing?" He'd reply, "I'm looking for an honest man." The implication was everyone around him was a liar. The merchants cheating customers, the politicians making false promises, the philosophers teaching virtue while living in vice. One day, a rich man mocked him. "You live like a dog." Diogenes shot back, "Yes, and you? You live like a slave. I am a dog who bites the chains of those who think they're free." The rich man walked away humiliated because Diogenes exposed the uncomfortable truth. The rich man was enslaved by his possessions, his reputation, his fear of losing status. Diogenes owned nothing and feared nothing. Lesson 5, the things you own end up owning you. But the most savage moment? That's next. Story number 6, the ultimate comeback. Someone once insulted Diogenes by throwing stones at him. He turned and said, "Be careful. If you keep throwing stones at every dog you see, you might accidentally hit your father." Brutal. He just called the man's father illegitimate in one sentence. But here's the deeper cut. In ancient Greece, calling someone a bastard was the ultimate insult. It meant they had no legal rights, no inheritance, no status. Diogenes was saying, "You're so obsessed with status and legitimacy that you've forgotten we're all just animals pretending to be important." Lesson 6, status is an illusion. We're all equal in our mortality. Now, here's where everything comes together. So was Diogenes just a savage troll? No, he was doing something revolutionary. Every insult was a mirror. He forced people to see their own hypocrisy, their own slavery to things that don't matter, their own fear of being authentic. Plato hid behind definitions. Diogenes showed him reality. Alexander conquered nations. Diogenes showed him he couldn't conquer himself. Society worshipped wealth. Diogenes showed them it was a prison. Diogenes wasn't insulting people. He was freeing them. And that's why he's remembered 2,300 years later, while most of his critics are forgotten. The question is, what are you enslaved by? Status? Money? Other people's opinions? What would Diogenes say if he met you today? Maybe it's time to ask yourself, am I living authentically, or am I just another person Diogenes would roast in the marketplace? If this video made you think differently about philosophy, freedom, and what it means to live authentically, hit that subscribe button because we're diving deep into more philosophers who challenged everything society told them to believe. Next video, we're covering the philosopher who was so controversial, the church tried to erase him from history. You won't want to miss it. I'm Psychethos, and remember, the only person you need to impress is yourself.
If this content is making sense to you, click the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support.